everybody. I want to do a video today, and we're not going to do a review. We're not going to talk about a movie or a TV show or anything like that. Instead, I wanted to bring it up to you. What happens when real life comes in between you and comics? The price of everything has gone up. We all know this. We all know that milk and bread and eggs, the essentials, food, power, water, all of these things have gone up. And so have comics at an alarming rate. When I started collecting comics in 1990, my uncle bought me the first 5 issues of Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man Torment comic in a 5-pack at Walmart for $5, actually for $4.97. Now you can't get one book for $4.97, not generally. Image has still got some $3.99 books, things like that, but a lot of books have gone to that $4.99 price point. And for example, I was looking at my list of stuff I'm going to pick up this week, and it looks like I've got either 7 or 8 books that I'm going to pick up. At $5 a lick, that's $40. 40 times 4, you're talking $160 a month for comics. Okay, what about my truck note? What about insurance for said truck? What about lights, water, utilities for this house that me and my family, are living in? So, has there ever come a breaking point for y'all out there watching this where you said, I've got to either step away from comics completely because of the cost? And I'm not even talking about current day. I'm just stating that current day seems to be harder hit than mostly in the past. Current day seems to be the most expensive that comics have ever been. Omnibus books like the one that I reviewed from Sal Buscema and J.M. DeMatteis, or DeMatteis, are $125 a book. That's crazy. I see what you're getting for that book. I see the amount of pages. I see the larger, oversized format. But when I started collecting, you probably would have seen that on shelves for $75, $80 max. Price of paper, price of ink, price of mastering and remastering all those comics, it hasn't gone up, $45 in the last 30 years? It shouldn't have. There's no reason why the last anniversary issue that came out of Amazing Spider-Man last week, $9.75, there's no reason that's a $7.99 book. It was a really good story and I enjoyed it, but the main Spider-Man title, if you want people to collect Amazing Spider-Man twice a month, sometimes you have to cut your losses and deal with it in a business manner, okay? Talk to me in the comments and see what you guys think. But I would think that you would need to drop the price back to $2.99. You're selling a book twice a month anyway, okay? So now you're getting $6 from me. Right now, you're getting $10. But there's no house ad. That's nothing but house ads. There's no Hostess fruit pie ads. There's no Mark Jewelers. There's none of that stuff that could bring in outside revenue and knock the prices down. The House of Mouse just wants to have the snake eating its own tail. But if you go back and get outside marketing and income sources, then you'll be able to go back to that $2.99 price point. And at $3, I would have a hell of a lot easier time swallowing $6 a month for Amazing Spider-Man if I got 2 issues rather than 10. And it doesn't seem like $4 should be that much. But if you've got 4 here and 4 there, it's the same principle that Netflix and Hulu and Paramount Plus and Peacock and all of these different things have gotten us roped into. Oh, it's only $10 a month. Okay, it's only $10 a month, but if you've got 15 different streaming services between your video watching and your music, Spotify, things like that, Napster in my case, Sirius XM, when you got things like that, then $10 here and $10 there, and all of a sudden now you got 15, that's $150 a month. It's $150 a month that could go towards paying one of these light bills, go towards feeding my family, go towards a lot of different things. Okay? And that's just one aspect. That's one aspect of what is a greater endemic problem, is that everybody's trying to maximize their gains and capitalize on that maximization without providing a better product. Okay? So if you give me ASM twice a month at $2.99, then you go back to an anniversary issue costing somewhere between $4.99 to $5.99. Okay? The other thing to think about when you're budgeting, are you really enjoying these stories? Because a lot of people, myself included, are completionists. We will go back and collect, I've got Amazing Spider-Man from 975 all the way back to 188 currently, or 185, with no breaks in between. But even I, who is one of the, I consider myself one of the bigger Spider-Man guys here on YouTube, has to admit that not every one of those stories was worth the sometimes 15 or 20 or 50 or $100 that issue commands. Now, a lot of those, I don't have a lot of $100 back issues that I buy on a regular basis. I try to keep it to maybe $20, $15 if I can. A lot of people collect with the idea of starting out with a 9.8. I collect with the idea that if I can get a 9.2 for $15 instead of a 9.8 for $60, I'm okay with that 9.2 because I want it to be reader copy. I want it to be in my collection, and I want to pass it on to my stepson if he wants them as time goes on. And if not, pass them on maybe to a library as I get older. My eyesight starts to go. Pass them on to somebody somewhere that is going to get a value out of those books. So do I want a 9.8 issue of Amazing Spider-Man 300 over a 9.2? I'd love to have one. But I've got a 9.2 sitting on my shelf in there, and I'm happy with it. I am super stoked to own that book because it took me 35 years of collecting, almost 33, I want to say, before I got that book. And it's a key to me simply because I didn't want to pay that kind of money for what I considered a modern book. I just wasn't going to do it. And finally I said, you know what, if I don't do it now, with the speculation boom the way it is, it's just going to keep creeping up and up and up until it's nigh unattainable. So, like I said, let's talk about, have you ever thought about the budgeting aspect of comics and how it impacts your wants, your whims, your desires, but more importantly, how it impacts your family and how you feed them each and every month, and where the whether you're going to keep the lights on so you can read. because I think with comics getting more and more expensive, and I'm talking about new books, not old books. I got sidetracked talking about old books for a minute, but I'm talking about these new comics that come out each and every week. If it continues at this rate, eventually we're going to get 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man every month at $10 a pop. And I'm sorry, I love the character. I absolutely love that character, but I'm not paying that. I will do without my fix of Amazing Spider-Man, and I will end my collection at whatever issue it is, rather than pay $10 per issue. Realistically, it's at $5 now. Realistically, I would say no, it's $7. I'll give them $2 more. That's it. That's it. That's where I'll draw the line. And my, like I said, pretty much 35 years of collecting Spider-Man will be over. Because there's certain lines that I can't financially afford to cross. But hey, maybe you guys have unlimited funds out there. What do you think? Do you think there's a way to march this back? Do you think that via a backlash of comic creators and fans? Or do you think that us as fans can pull it off all by ourselves? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. This is just some food for thought. It's not meant to be negative. It's just a realistic look at our hobby that we love and these characters that we enjoy reading each and every month. So let's talk about it down in the comments section. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and let's go get it.